Chapter 12 of March of the Mice. Good always wins. You spent the last few weeks just sort of like holding the, line, making sure that they don't get out. They've taken some pot shots at people, but generally speaking, it's been, mostly just about like a week and a half. You've just held them in there, and they're probably, it's quiet on the front. Not much gunfire, which means that you guys have been playing a lot of Perfect Break with your newfound friends, of which you're basically just sitting there again, and you're offered to play once again. Do you want to play Perfect Break? Going ahead and setting up a poll just in case if it wins, and right now it looks like it is. You guys have been playing a bit, and you declare at the top of your lungs, Perfect Break! Everyone just kind of looks at you because you've been doing this for, like, a bit now. You guys have been playing for, a few rolls now, and you aren't on the hottest streak with your recent calls, so that didn't really work out for you all that often. Greg says, even group. The other guy says, yeah, even group. So the other soldiers think you're kind of dim. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're also the hero of St. Greg's Place. So, like, everyone has a tremendous amount of respect for you. Like, you're brave, tactically smart, apparently, and able to fight reliably is what's known about you based on everything that happened at St. Greg's Place when you fought off basically all of the pirates that were assaulting the town and safely made sure that all of the civilians got out of there. That being said, you're absolute dog shit at gambling. You're horrible at it. The dice roll, and again, it's not a perfect break. In fact, no one wins this one. Everyone kind of just like, grumbles to themselves. Greg goes, odd group. The guy says, even group. I'm just locking in on even group today, man. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Today is the day that you guys are supposed to go over the top and actually push out. According to your plan, you wanted to go in with the tanks first after attempting a war of attrition and kind of, starving them out for a bit. Considering they're not getting any more supplies, this seemed like a fairly decent plan. It looks like Perfect Break is winning. So again, Greg chooses odd group. The other guy chooses even group. The dice go down. The other guy wins. Almost a perfect break. Let me try that again. All right, round 3. Do we really even deserve to win at this point? Are we just voting for Perfect Break even though it's statistically unlikely? Perfect Break beats out any other combo. So if everyone rolled 6s and everyone but you said even group, but you said Perfect Break, you would win. It's the most statistically unlikely thing to happen. Basically, it's a loser's choice, which is why everyone's kind of like, man, Bree, you're really bad at gambling. Like I said, I rolled the dice manually, wrote down the results, and then picked what I was going to go with based on that. Greg goes with even group. The other guy goes with even group. It seems to be the tactic of the day. Everyone's thinking that it's going to be even group. It looks like even group wins. Everyone went for even group, and yet you and the other guy are the only winners on this one. So 1 to you and 2 to the other guy. Last one. I told you it's going to be even group, man, says the other guy. Greg is convinced on this fact as well and goes with even group. No, wait. Perfect Break. It's going to be Perfect Break this time, right, Bree? Chad is convinced that it's going to be Perfect Break. The vote isn't even fucking close this time. The dice go down, and no one wins. A sharp-dressed officer comes over and says, we need to start getting ready. You guys should stop screwing around. All right. No, like I said, the plan is that the deer tanks, of which you help control one, will push in before the infantry in order to make sure that it's safe. They don't seem to have any anti-tank firepower. They barely seem to have any firepower whatsoever. They're just shooting like long rifles at you guys repetitively. Just anytime they get a decent enough chance, someone goes in or out of the trench or something, they'll take a pot shot. But they really aren't attempting full-out warfare at this point. They're just sort of holding their line and you're holding yours, just bringing up the map from last time so you guys have a decent idea of it. Can we go find the king and blast him? You want to, like, frag a fellow officer? Like, that seems like a, especially considering he's a king, seems like a power play. Is artillery available? You are the artillery as tanks pushing forward. So not really. Long-range artillery isn't really a thing. I mean, tanks have a decent range, and pushing in with the tanks with, like, you know, their cannons should be sufficient enough suppression fire in order to keep them down. You decide you're going to spend a little bit of time just hugging everyone back aboard the tank and making sure that everyone knows that they're loved. You know, you handshake and hug Abe and Greg and good luck Charlie, and it's weird for pretty much everyone except for you, especially good luck Charlie. He's kind of used to it now, but you're very huggy for someone in the military, but everyone respects that and rolls with it. You do a little dance because hugging friends is nice. You decide to go back to your tank where you see King Ava's tank awaiting as well. He's giving orders on exactly what needs to be done, making sure that the tank is fully prepared and ready to go. There was someone asking, you know, where is he and what is he doing? He's been, you know, basically just screwing around like everyone else, just sort of keeping to himself, though, waiting for the time to come forward for, you know, the charge to actually happen. You and the rest of your crew go ahead and mount up into the tank proper. King Ava flags you down from his tank as you look over from yours. All right, hero boy. We're going to go in. We're going to make sure that they've got all the cover fire they need. Don't you dare back out. He pops back into his hatch, and you sort of pop back into yours. Starts yelling, all right, on my mark. Him and the other tanks start to push forward as some light fire starts to happen as you guys push towards the... start to push towards the front lines. King Ava's tank starts to open fire. You load your own tank, opening your mouth to make sure that the shockwave doesn't blow out your eardrums, and then announce that you're about to fire, loading your own shell. Charge is going successful so far. There's been very little return fire. You make it successfully inside of the fortress itself, the infantry having followed up behind. There are no civilians as far as you're are aware. You park the tank inside the walls of the fortress, only to find that there's just a handful of buildings in there. The hell is going on down there? Where are they? Yelling at one of the soldiers on ground floor. One of the soldiers on ground floor, looking up at y'all, says, "No one's here, man. Sir, we're checking the buildings now." Well, who the hell has been shooting at us then? We've been scoping out some of the buildings, and it looks like that there's some underground facility down there. Seems like that this is just like a above ground section of the fortress itself, sort of like a anthill. All right, Bree, so-called hero of St. Greg's Place, you get down there. He's technically part of, like, he's the king of another nation, so he's not your king, but he is a king that's in the same NATO-like alliance that you're in. So, like, he kind of does have that level of ability to order you around, but also, like, he's not your king, so you can also sort of disagree with him. The king lied. He said the Black Paws leader was here. He did say that, and he said there was no underground tunnels. There are no underground tunnels leading out in the surrounding area. Where exactly these tunnels go is not clear, but as far as the evidence that you guys have, there's no exits outside of the fortress itself. It just goes down. It doesn't extend out to allow them to get, you know, outside of the combat zone, for example, is what he's implying. And the information he got, technically he got through a war crime by asking a merchant crow to sell that information to him, which is not cool. They're supposed to be a neutral party and not part of this. Have we seen his paws before? You're looking at him right now. Like, you can see them. They're white like the rest of him. You shout back to him, this is an obvious ambush, sir. We need soldiers to scout. Well, thank you for volunteering there. It'd be an honor to fight alongside you. Of course you would be. I'll go in first if you're that much of a coward, but you're following behind me. I'll make sure my men see to it. The other men from his tank take positions to make sure that you know that a bullet's a bullet and there's no way to know exactly what's friendly fire and what's not. Why can't we camp here and just starve them out? You've already done that once. You starved them out for like a week and a half, and now you're pushing in. Can we gas the tunnels? Those sort of war crimes haven't been invented yet. You make your way into the tunnels. King Ava has already absolutely just fucked off and gone down some direction or another. Ahead of you, there are 3 possible directions aside from the direction you're coming from. You can either go left, forward, or right. I will assume that you guys are on your absolute guard for this, so that way you don't get murderized. Are mice left or right-handed? They're right-handed. I actually did address this. That's a really smart point. You guys head down the left passage. This continues down another hallway. I presume you're not letting us make the markings on the wood beams then? I'll be honest with you, I didn't account for that, so there won't be physical markings on the walls to allow me to know whether or not you've done them or not. I didn't draw that. So you're more than welcome to say that you've done this. I just won't be able to animate that. So do we have grenades? You've gone in with your sword. You continue forward. It forks off to the right. You're on like absolute, like full, like alert. You continue forward. It makes a short left and then leads into, it seems like it opens up ahead around the corner. Perception check. You don't hear anything aside from people like bustling around up ahead. Sneak forward. If Bree is right-handed and wielding a sword, are we holding in our left? I guess Bree is left-handed. I never thought about that. Yeah. Most mice are right-handed. Bree happens to be left-handed because that's just how I animated them, which does give you a tactical advantage in close quarters combat. That's convenient. The room opens up into, or the hallway opens up to a large room. Continue forward or turn around? Is anyone with us? No, they've all like spread out into different portions of catacombs trying to figure out where anything is. The fact that like a decent number of people have like started running around in here, like a small squad has started to scope this place out and you haven't run into anyone, is a little concerning. Can we get some cave ambience? It's not really a cave. It's actually it's essentially like a mine shaft that they've made. Toss something into the room. You throw a rock. There's no like report or like reaction. Dig straight down and never come back. The Minecraft method. Do we establish how accurate these guns are? Like, not super accurate. We're talking like early M1 Grand is sort of the aesthetic that I've got them for. You're not gonna get someone from a mile away, but for decent range, like it's a carbine. Yeah, it's a single, not bolt action, but like if someone was hiding right on next to the doorway, they're not gonna make miss a shot here. Like this is very close quarters combat. Semi-automatic rifle. They've gotten past bolt action. You push forward into the room because that's what people voted for and find it's completely empty aside from, you know, the structural walls to keep it up. It seems like this is a dead end. Whatever this room was used for, it's not being used for anymore. Search the room. It's pretty much empty. As far as you can tell, this room just had some like, you know, maybe like boards or something lying around. Investigate, look for details. There's no tinted rock. Could have been used for storage at some point or another. Is this room lit? Yeah, you've got a torch with you. Turning around brings you back to the corridor that you went through. You're back at the fork. On your right is your entrance into the place, guarded by some random guys from the Sanguinary Guard, or Sanguinary Line. And then to your left is unexplored territory, as well as in front of you. Behind you is that empty room that you just went to. There's still forces at the entrance. Yeah, they're holding. Are we the only raiding party? No. Other people are searching around as well, but did anyone else go the other way? You didn't see which way King Ava went. Has anyone reported back yet? The people at the front say no, I haven't seen or heard anything. Forward is what the previous right was, yes. I've got a piece of paper where I've got the map and I'm just rotating it around, which is how I'm doing it. You decide to continue forward through. Looks like this is an entrance to some sort of storage room or something. Do you hear anything at all? No, surprisingly, for as many shots that were coming out over the last week or so, no one appears to be in here. You throw a rock into the room, no one reacts as you throw a rock in. Toss another rock and this time yell grenade. It's a decent option. What if this place is entirely empty? It would be against what the what King Ava said. You threatened to throw a grenade in and throw a rock instead. There's no movement inside the room. Chat votes to enter the storage room. There's a lot of supplies in here. It looks like most of it has barely been touched. There's a few bags of grain, which could be used for food, and then a few boxes, which are not open, so you can't, you know, tell what's in them. But have we cleared the rooms as we went? You are clearing rooms or hallways, as you guys say, yes. Is the grain stale? No. No staler than like a week. Do we see any other ways to go? No. This room has no other known exits. Sniff box. Could be gunpowder. Could be ammunition. Put the sacks on the crates. Seems like it would be a little bit of a waste of time. Do we need any of these things? No, you guys are well stocked. You've been like getting constant supplies, but they've been just living off of what are supplies that they've gotten here. Solve sliding box puzzle. Go ahead and create a poll. Are there corpses inside? No. What the hell happened to the king? There's one other direction he could have gone. Figure the tech is somewhere between, like, it's a little bit random. It didn't follow the same, like, trajectory as human technology went. They figured out buttons, for example, earlier, but some weapons of war are, you know, not so much a thing. How many men entered the tunnel before us? Directly before you was King Ava. Aside from that, other people may have entered, but you didn't see them. Like World War I, Napoleonic to World War II, like, pretty general, like, depending on what exactly you're talking about. They skipped out on, like, working on tank tracks, for example, because they have deer to ride, so it's not super important. Chat votes to turn around. So, again, you're at the crossroads. Left would be the entrance. In front of you is that empty room, and to the right is the only option you haven't done. Report to the guards first. You let them know that there's nothing there. You continue down the right corridor. It forks off in two directions, left and right. There were supplies. There was no one in there, but there were supplies. Fair enough. You told them the correct thing. No one was in there. Look for fresh mouse prints. The entire floor is, like, just absolutely trodden to, like, a smooth finish because of how many footsteps have gone through here recently. To your back is where the entrance is, for anyone who's keeping track at this point. Does the enemy have other exits? According to the intel that King Ava gave you, no. What direction are the footprints in? Like, every direction. Like, they've been living down here. Looks like Chad is convinced to go right. You head right. There's a room ahead of you. Look behind you. There's nothing that way. Throw a rock, yell grenade. You throw a rock and yell grenade. There's no reaction from the room. Look above the door. Like, up. There's not really room for that. How's the torch doing? You still have light. From here, all you can see is a sign that says 4 and what looks like rows and rows of bunk beds. Throw a grenade and yell rock. I love that. Looks like chat wishes to go in. It's a looks like a barracks with like multiple bunk beds and a sign that says 4 on it. Again, empty. Is anyone hiding behind the pillar? No, no one else is in this room. Can we get more wood for the torch? So because of how long it takes to vote, it seems like it's been a long time, but you guys haven't been down here all that long. Look under the beds. There's not, I mean, you can see the shadows of the other beds from under the beds. Pee on the beds, jump on the beds. Where's the king? So far, there's been one route that he could have taken that you weren't. Quick save, not a thing. Are any of the enemies bedwetters? No, as far as you can tell, they're not. Slow save, that's not a thing either. Manual save, you can't do that. Start to hear some, like, shouting from outside. Is there fire? It starts to smell like fire down here. Does it sound like it? I mean, all guns kind of sound the same. Time to leave? I'm going to skip all the pathing that you had to do to get back there if you guys just want to go straight back to the entrance. There's no smoke inside the tunnels. Can we do a frowny face as a free action? Crying and frowny faces are free actions, yes. Run implies run outside, I think. Run is not mutually exclusive with saving the king. Considering it seems to be kind of a maze down here, figuring out which path he took could end up taking a long time, just as an aside. Can we find the king and kill him ourselves? Well, he was just telling you that friendly fire looks the same no matter who does it, so I would say going and looking for the king would end up being mutually exclusive from leaving. Chat seems to be voting for trying to figure out where the king went. This is with your back to the entrance. Would you like to continue down the one path you haven't gone, I guess? If you're going to go chasing down the king, he would have to be down that path. This leads you to yet another four-way. Gun sounds still sound like they're coming from above, yes. There's been a couple of explosions, but after the explosions went off, it's been mostly just gunfire since. Did we consider running back and saving the men? That was in consideration. It lost by 1 vote. Like, people are probably already dying right now. Is the fire in slow motion? The fire isn't down here. Sounds like it's coming from above. You guys are not, like, in immediate risk of being on fire. You're just in a tunnel underground while there's a fire raging above you in a fortress made entirely out of wood. If we find the king hiding, we're going to call him a bitch, right? Of course. Calling the king a bitch is a free action if you find him cowering somewhere. Can we hear the deer tank shots? Not so much. Full-on battle is raging up ahead, or above you guys. You guys decide to go forward. The path turns left up ahead. Forward or go back to the entrance? Keep going. Someone is standing at the secondary entrance to this place. Is that our evil clone? No. Whoever this is fucking massive. He's just standing there menacingly. He starts coming down. He absolutely sees you. He starts coming down the stairs towards you. Do we have a gun? You have your sword, and that's about it. Like, he knows where you are, so he's come down the stairs. Wave? Does he have a gun? No. But he does have a giant, like, polearm and, like, a scythe for a tail. When I didn't see you up on the surface, I figured you had to be down here. So you must be Bree. Was it hero of St. Greg's Place? Based on the description alone, the only possible person this could be is the leader of the Black Paw Terrace. One thing he's known for is having a tail-based weapon. Do we not have a gun? No, you've been using your sword this whole time. You're not going to be able to run through him. He's taking up, like, a decent chunk of the area in here, which normally would be, like, a slight disadvantage, but his tail's giving him a lot of options as far as, like, attack angles. Getting around him is going to involve having to get past both the pike and his tail. Bree is, like, teenager-ish, young. Do we have enough dirt in our pocket to pocket sand him? Didn't account for it, but yes, you have been hoarding dirt for no reason, so I'm going to assume that you do. Chekhov's dirt. That's so dumb. So far, Bree has been in one, like, actual combat scenario, and they were fighting a pirate on top of a bear tank that they had just killed. So Bree has some combat experience, but has not attempted to do the pocket sand maneuver before. But they have been saving all this dirt for just a moment like this, I guess. DM's note, never let your players do weird crap because it'll come back to bite you. And then you'll have to figure out how to audible on the fly. I joke, you should always let them do weird stuff. Using your spare hand, so you've got one hand on your sword and your other hand is free. So with your free hand, while keeping a defensive stance going, you reach into your pocket and start to pull out some pocket dirt. Recognizing the moment of hesitancy, he closes the gap and, like, decks you really hard in the stomach. Something's broken, but you're still alive. That's not hesitancy. He's fast. He's a, he's a fighter. You come here to my land to take from me again. I will not have this. What exactly are you fighting for anyway? You guys are obviously fighting. Do you guys want to go high, low, or mid? Full defense, no attack. Okay, yeah, that also could be an option. While you guys are picking that, you guys are putting up stances and getting ready to swing at each other. And you say, we were drafted. We have to fight. Your kingdom has drafts people, has slaves, has... Why do you even bother fighting? So it looks like chat wants to go on the full defensive. He pushes in and uses your hesitancy to make a move to disarm you. You start to feel the pain from the previous hit and a slight slice as he comes at you some more. I was expecting more. If you're going to be a hero, act like one. Get back on your feet and fight me. He's got you on the ropes and you start crying. And glares down at you. You're crying now? Is this the hero that they've sent to beat me? I let you have me. I put myself on a silver platter and you're here crying. What are you, a child? Wait. Did they actually send a child to kill me? Your wounds are starting to become a little bit more intense and you're starting to feel them. We're not doing this. I'm gonna get you out of here. They sent an actual child to murder me. Those cowards will pay for this. Are the last words that you remember before you start to pass out. And that is where we're going to call it for now. Are we dead? No, there's going to be another session next month.